Hello Fast and Furious fans, and welcome back to Nerd Doc. Fast 10 is hitting theaters around the world, and that means it's time to explore the ending and plot details of the film. There will be spoilers for Fast 10 in this video. This is your spoiler warning. There are chapter timestamps, so you can jump around the video as you wish, and if you have any questions, we missed anything, or you just want to give us your thoughts on the film, leave a comment below. Since the movie is still in theaters, we can only use footage from the trailers, so please bear with us there. If you're looking for details on the mid-credit scene, you can find that video linked in the description below. We also discuss where we think the next movie is going in that same video. Normally, there isn't too much to the plot of a Fast and Furious movie, but Fast 10 actually has a decent amount going on. The main antagonist in Fast 10 is Dante Reyes, son of Hernan Reyes. Hernan was the main antagonist of Fast 5, who was gravely injured during the bridge chase scene when Dom threw a car at him, then finished off when Hobbs shot him on the ground. There are flashbacks to the events of Fast 5 in Rio that insert Dante into the movie and show that he was also after Dom before he was thrown over the bridge shortly after his father died. Dante is mentally ill, but like most Fast and Furious villains, he's skilled at driving cars, handling weapons, and the like. Dante wants to get revenge on Dom, his crew, and anyone who has ever helped them. However, his father taught him not to kill someone when you can make them suffer. So that's the plan for Dom, make him suffer before he eventually kills him. At the beginning of the movie, Dante invades Cypher's base, having kidnapped the loved ones of every guard in the room, forcing them to turn on Cypher, and allowing Dante to leave with her assortment of cyber-terrorist tools. Dante then uses these tools to set up Dom and his team throughout the movie. Cypher goes to Dom after Dante's attack because the enemy of her enemy is her friend, or at least that's her explanation. Cypher does pull up in the new DeLorean, by the way. She ends up getting handed over to the agency, who sends her off to a black site. On the protagonist side of things, Dom's whole team is here, but Roman is tricked into leading a mission to Rome, which turns out to be a trap set by Dante. This results in Dante framing Dom and his whole team for a terrorist attack on the city, and causes the agency to be against them most of the film. Mr. Nobody is missing in action, so a new character named Ames has taken over the agency. Ames doesn't care what Dom and his crew have done for the agency in the past, he's hell-bent on bringing them in. Brie Larson's character is Tess, who is Mr. Nobody's daughter. She works at the agency and tries to convince Ames to help Dom and his team. When she realizes she can't bring Ames around, she goes rogue and helps Dom anyway. During all the chaos in Rome, Dom is separated from his team, and Letty ends up being captured by the agency. Tess takes God's Eye from the agency so they can't use it to find Dom. Then she helps Dom get a message out to Mr. Nobody, and clues Dom in on Dante's whereabouts, which sends Dom to Rio. Dom asks Tess to get Letty out of agency custody, so Tess visits her at a black site and injures her shoulder. This causes the agency to move her to a medical area where Cypher also happens to be getting fixed up. Eventually, Cypher escapes the facility with the help of Letty, but more on that a bit later. Dom goes to Rio and hits up the street racing scene he helped build there. Half of the crowd is with Dom, and the other half has been bought out by Dante. At this point, Isabel is introduced as a new street racer who wants to race Dom. There's a race between Dom, Dante, Isabel, and the head of the street scene in Rio. Dante cheats, killing the head of the street scene and attempting to kill Isabel as well, before Dom interferes and saves her. We later discover that Isabel is actually the sister of Elena, who was Hobbs' partner in Fast 5 and 6, and the mother of Dom's son, little Brian. Cypher had her killed in the Fate of the Furious. Moving over to Dom's crew, they escape Rome, but Dante hacked their bank account so they have no money. Luckily, Roman carries a ton of cash on him at all times, so they use that in an effort to buy what they need to fight back from an underground dealer Ramsey knows in London. This is Pete Davidson's character, Bowie. Unfortunately, Bowie sells him out to the authorities, so they get out of there quickly and end up going to Deckard Shaw instead. When they get to Shaw's place, Ramsey gets online and discovers that Dante is targeting anyone who ever helped the crew, which includes Shaw's mother, Queenie. This moves Shaw into action as they all head to a safe house located near Portugal that Dom had Jacob set up in advance just in case anything went south. The agency sends a team after Mia and little Brian, who Mia has been watching over while Dom and Letty are doing all the big action scenes. Luckily, Dom sent his brother Jacob to look after them, who arrives just in time to save Brian. Jacob leaves Mia at home and takes Brian to the safe house near Portugal. The end of the movie sees Dante take God's Eye from Tess. He then uses it to find the safe house location. It's at this point that Ames sides with Dom again to help stop Dante because he supposedly realizes how much of a threat Dante has become. Dante's mercenaries attack the safe house, and Jacob protects little Brian until Dom shows up, but Jacob ends up sacrificing himself to help Dom. Basically, Dom is caught on the wrong side of the highway, and Jacob's custom-made cannon car has a cut fuel line, so his usefulness is limited. There are a bunch of mercenaries that are coming after Dom, who seemingly has no way out, so Jacob uses his cannons pointed at the ground to jump the car over to the mercs, blowing everyone up, including himself. Now, could Dom have escaped without Jacob's sacrifice? Probably. I mean, at one point he throws 2 helicopters at some other mercs, but I guess John Cena's contract was up and they needed an emotional beat. Anyway, Dom is caught on the dam, which is exactly where Dante wanted him to be. Dante has 2 remote-controlled semi-trucks heading toward him, so Dom jumps the dam and makes it out of that spot, hanging with little Brian near the water below the dam. This is when Roman, Han, Tej, Ramsey, Shaw, and Han's plane shows up to save the day, but Dante predicted this as well, and it's revealed that Ames has actually been working for Dante since Fast 5. Ames shoots a missile at the plane, hitting the engine and causing it to crash in the distance. Then Dante detonates a series of bombs attached to the dam, causing a massive amount of water to rush toward Dom and little Brian just before the scene cuts to black and the movie ends. Backing up just a little bit, Letty and Cypher escape the black site only to find out they're in Antarctica. Worry not, Cypher has called in a helping hand, and in the midst of all the action near Portugal, we see a giant submarine shows up in Antarctica to help Cypher and Letty. As the sub opens up, we see that Gisele has come to rescue them. Now, the big question is, did Dom's team actually die? The simple answer is no. We don't see them escape the plane before it goes down, but we do see that they have their cars with them in the plane. As Dom is so fond of pointing out, if you want to stop this team, you need to take their cars. Since they still had their cars, it's safe to say they're not dead. Plus, if they were dead, that would mean only Mr. Nobody, Tess, Cypher, Mia, Letty, Gisele, Hobbs, and maybe Queenie would be around for the next movie to save Dom and Dante. I guess you can probably throw in Hattie, Shaw's sister, but you get the point. That's not much of a team, at least not a team that most of the audience would care about. So the main crew definitely escapes the crashing plane, but who do you think will save Dom and little Brian? Is there someone else behind all of this, or is Dante really the only big bad here and we're stuck with him for 1 or possibly 2 more movies? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. We have some thoughts of our own on what will happen in Fast 11, or Fast 10 2, or whatever the next movie is going to be called. But we need to discuss the mid-credit scene first. All of that is in the video linked in the description below, so be sure to check that out. For now, that wraps up this video. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed the video, please don't forget to like, subscribe, and share with someone who loves family.